Hey everyone, my name is Riley, and in this video, I'm going to break down the key differences between an LLC and a corporation. Whether you are just starting your business or whether you are thinking of switching your structure, understanding the differences between these two business structures is absolutely key. In this video, I will cover what an LLC is and how it works, what a corporation is and how it works, the pros and cons of each business structure, the tax differences between LLCs and corporations, the liability protection and legal considerations, and which one is best for different types of businesses. I will also introduce you to my recommended LLC formation service that makes sure you are compliant and offers guidance if you ever need help with tax questions down the road. As always, if you do decide to use my recommended service, I may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you, and I have thoroughly researched my options and I trust this service to provide top-notch support. So let's start out with an LLC. An LLC, or a limited liability company, is a flexible business structure that combines the liability protection of a corporation with the tax benefits of a sole proprietorship or partnership. The way it works is that LLC owners, known as members, are not personally responsible for the company's debts or liabilities. An LLC essentially acts like a shield between you and the business, so if the business gets into debt or into a lawsuit, your personal asset can't be touched. An LLC also offers pass-through taxation, meaning the income of the business is reported on the personal tax returns of the owners, and this is going to prevent double taxation. So the pros of an LLC are, of course, the personal liability protection, the flexible ownership structure for whether you want to go with one or more members, and the pass-through taxation. An LLC does also come with cons, and some of these are that it may have more administrative paperwork than a sole proprietorship, and you can also be subject to self-employment taxes depending on how it is taxed. Now let's talk about a corporation. A corporation is a more formal and rigid business structure, often chosen by larger companies or businesses seeking out new investors. A corporation has its own legal entity separate from its owners called shareholders, and this means that the corporation itself can own properties, enter into contracts, and incur debts. Some of the pros of a corporation is, of course, limited liability for shareholders. It's easier to raise capital by selling shares, and it also has a perpetual existence, meaning the business continues even if shareholders change. The cons, on the other hand, are more formalities and paperwork required. You are also going to get double taxation, meaning that you are taxed at the corporate level as well as paying personal income tax, and there are also higher administrative costs. Next, let's dive into taxes, because one of the biggest differences between an LLC and a corporation is how they are taxed. So an LLC has pass-through taxation, meaning that the profits of the business flow directly to the members and are taxed on their individual tax returns. The LLC itself doesn't pay any taxes. For a corporation, the profits are going to be taxed at the corporate level first, and then when those profits are distributed to shareholders as dividends, they are taxed again on their shareholders' personal tax returns. This is what is called double taxation. However, with that being said, if a corporation elects S-Corp status, it can enjoy pass-through taxation like an LLC, but this is a little bit more technical, and if you would like to learn more about S-Corp status, I will leave a link to a video that I created. Another important factor to consider is liability protection. Both LLCs and corporations offer personal liability protection, and this means that if the business is sued or if the business faces financial troubles, your personal assets like your home, your savings, your cars, these are generally protected. However, the level of protection varies depending on how you manage your business. So if you don't follow corporate formalities like proper bookkeeping records or separating personal and business finances, both LLCs and corporations could risk losing this protection. So which structure is best for you? This really depends on the nature of your business. If you are a solo entrepreneur or a small business owner looking for flexibility and lower maintenance, an LLC might be the best option. On the other hand, if you plan to scale your business, if you plan to raise outside capital or eventually go public, a corporation might be a better choice. Ultimately, with this, it comes down to your specific goals, the number of people involved, and how much you're willing to handle in terms of administrative duties. With that being said, you now have a clear understanding of the key differences between an LLC and a corporation. So if you're ready to form your business, I recommend using Bizee to get started quickly and easily. The reason for this is that Bizee handles everything from the LLC formation to the corporation setup, including compliance, paperwork, and registered agent agent services. They even offer a free year of the registered agent service, which can save you a lot of hassle. So I'll now jump into my screen and show you how to set up your LLC or corporation with Bizee. To get started with Bizee, click on the top link down in the description and it's going to take you over to this page. So on this page, all we are going to do is click on this button that says Form Your LLC. And in here, we can now choose the entity type that we would like to set up. So if you are forming an LLC, you can just go ahead and select the LLC right here. But if you are selecting a corporation, you need to know if you want to set up a C Corp or an S Corp. If you don't know the difference between these, what I will do is I will leave a link to a video that I created showing the differences between an LLC, an S Corp and a C Corp, so you can understand which one is going to be the best for you. But either way, we just go ahead and select one of these right here, and then we select the state that we would like to form this in. And right here, we can see the Bizee pricing. So there are 3 different pricing plans on Bizee. The state fee right here, this is going to change depending on the state that you are in. So each state is going to have a different amount that they charge. But once you have chosen your state, the plan that I would recommend going with is the standard plan right here, because this provides everything that you need out of Bizee. With this plan, they will prepare and file the articles of organization. You get the 1-year free registered agent service. Now, a registered agent is a person or company who is responsible for the legal documents of your business. So it's fantastic that they offer this for the first year. With this plan, they will also sort our EIN business tax number. This is essentially the social security number for your business, and this is required to file taxes and open bank accounts. They will also create our operating agreement, and down here we get lifetime compliance alerts, as well as unlimited phone and email support. So this is the plan that we want to go for, and we just click on Get Started. And then in here, we can now choose the LLC name and write a brief description about the business. For some states, you won't have to enter in this purpose. Some states do require it though. So once again, this is going to depend state to state. On this next screen, Bizee will then ask us if we want to pay $50 to get this expedited filing time. And it essentially means they will just file your business quicker and allow you to have your LLC. So if we pay $50, we can get this in 2 days as opposed to 3 weeks. It really just depends on how quickly you want your LLC setting up. From here, we then want to go through and enter in our contact information as the person who is creating this LLC. And now we can choose if we would like to use our own address or whether we would like to use Bizee's virtual mail service. Essentially, what this means is if you use your own address, the residential address that you provide to the state will be listed publicly. So this is more for privacy. If you don't want your address to be out there and listed publicly, you might want to use Bizee's right here. The way that this works is all of your legal documents and everything that needs to be sent to the business will be sent to this address, and then Bizee will scan it in and email it across to you. So we can choose if we would like to take them up on this offer. We can then go down and enter in our contact address. Bizee are then going to ask if we want this premium service package. So with this, you get a 25 contract library, you get the expedited quicker filing time, and also a business phone number. So this is completely optional if you want to take this or not. And on this next page, this is now where we are going to provide information about all of the members that are a part of this company. So in this example, it's just going to be me. So I'm going to select one and then I can autofill my details right here. On this next page, this is where we get offered the registered agent service for 1 year for free. So we definitely want to take this. This is where we are going to set up our EIN, our employer identification number. As I said, this is like the SSN for your business. So this is really, really important. We can go down here and with the identification number, which we will use to obtain this EIN, we can either go with a social security number or with an ITIN. I recommend going with social security because with ITIN, this can take up to 12 weeks to obtain. So just to make sure that this goes smoothly and this goes quickly, we can enter in our SSN. In here, Bizee will then ask if we want to bank with one of their partners. So this is up to you if you want to use Relay for your business banking. But I'm just going to say not right now. They are also going to offer us a free business tax strategy call. So there's no strings attached to this. This is actually free. So we are definitely going to take this. They then identify 2 licenses for the type of business that we are. So we can either do the work ourselves and figure out what we actually need, or we can get Bizee to mail these applications. From here, we then get an order summary. So you want to go through and just make sure all of this information is correct and you have filled this out accurately. We can then click on next. And on this last step, we just enter in the card information that we would like to use. Go ahead and agree, and then we can complete and pay. So those are the differences between an LLC and a corporation. This video should give you more clarity on which business structure you should go with, as well as how you can set this up as soon as possible with Bizee. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.